All right, and we are back here on the Nexus Gaming series. This time, kicking it over to Division B West. Perfect time as the music cuts out. Gonna be Drop Dead Gorgeous versus Dank Team. Once again, joined by Snag, and looking forward to this set. Drop Dead Gorgeous, very veteran team in the Nexus Gaming series. Dank Team, a couple of new guys, but there's a lot of potential there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and
Uh,
interesting enough, what Dank team actually had the first pick and just chose Praxis.
no, so Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Oh, I had it
That first
backwards.
map pick. Drop Dead Gorgeous chose Braxis, and then Dank Team chose Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah, so two laners, both snowbally, both very draft dependent. So it's going to
Yeah.
be very critical on what they pick here. A lot of times you see Chromie and Stukov being very critical on the point control. You can see the Zarya Sylvanas. Gul'dan is very powerful with his wave clear just to be able to push out whatever lane he is. But they're banning the Genjis. Just don't want to deal with his shenanigans.
Yeah, Genji ban out of the gate. Genji's very powerful on this map. He has extremely good boss control. He can rotate the two capture points quicker than anyone. And it's a straight Shimada Brothers ban.
Yeah, nobody likes them Shimadas.
If
No dragons
only,
here.
if only someone would ban those heroes in Overwatch on my team,
Yeah.
because no one plays. Oddly enough, Hanzo's meta in this game. Anyway,
And Genji.
Hanzo and Genji out. Now, this
So
map, you could see a Gul'dan early. You could see a focus on the 4-man, but you could also see like a Dahaka early. Like, what are you thinking?
ETC is
Yeah,
always. I mean,
ETC.
he's just one of the top tanks right now. Honestly, I mean,
He
he's
is
great
the
in
top
lane.
tank, especially with
Yeah,
the garage nerf.
essentially.
He's the best initiator. Well, Diablo initiates extremely well also, but the difference is that ETC can actually do other things.
Yeah, I mean, and you're on the right track here, where it's either you're picking for your 4-man, but it's the first pick. A lot of times you might prioritize your solo laner because that's literally all they'll do. The whole game is solo lane, so you can leave your last 4 picks as your as your 4-man, and then just go with your solo laner. With they get 2 picks here, they might pick their solo lane and then go into like their heal tank, and then leave the last 3 options to be their flex. But seeing a lot of Lucio here, and there's the Chromie looking for that lane control or looking for that point control, really.
Yeah, and Chromie does allow for that interesting. You can kind of ignore the 4-1 rotation and focus on like a 2-3 or a 1-1-3 where the second one is just someone rotating the looking for ganks, looking for opportunity. It opens up a lot of possibilities that you don't really see.
Yeah, the amount of pressure that she can put on just somebody standing on the beacon is ungodly. Just throwing down sandblast nonstop. It's like, and if you don't have a good sustain healer, you're going to be hurting pretty soon.
Yeah. And sustained healers, that's kind of the name of the game here. So where like Uther and Rhaegar can be pretty good on Battlefield of Eternity, you tend to see something more along the lines of like uh, Morales versus Stukov here would be
Yeah,
There's
I'd,
the Greymane.
yeah, I would expect it either still go with Malfurion. I mean, Malfurion did get changed now, so he does have a little bit more sustain with the constant regrowth in the Moonfire. He might be hurting for Moonfire after the end of it if they're eating a lot of Sandblast. So that gives them a very solid 3-man. Just in the and we know they're obviously going to the 4-man bottom lane, so it's pretty solid right there. Greymane gets good pressure. ETC Malfurion roots always a solid kill comp. Which so they're looking scary if they have at least one more follow up behind that, but they're still gonna be looking for their solo lane.
Yeah, Malfurion very strong in the game at the moment. I mean, the rework seems to have made him kind of into an ungodly beast, but can have mana issues. We'll have to see how it goes. Mathael gonna be banned out.
Yeah, I mean they have the next 2 picks for Drop Dead Gorgeous, so banning out Malthael gives them means they're gonna pick their solo laner in the next 2 picks, which they have. So they're saying, hey, we know we don't want to go against the Malthael with our solo laner. Banning out the Sonya, that gives rid of the other solo laner. I'd probably see either a Rag or Dahaka here. I mean, they can still go with a ranged solo laner. That's not terrible because I mean, range poke is still good, but I'd most likely see a Dahaka.
Yeah, especially with the Mathael ban. I mean, trying to get rid of really his hardest kind of standard solo lane.
Yeah. I'm saying, I mean, Malthael and Sonya both. It's basically saying both teams saying, if you're going to ban Malthael, we're not going to give you the next best. So you're going to take the third best, and we're going to take the fourth. But probably going to see their. I don't think they're going to see their main damage. They're probably going to see their main tank and their solo lane. It's really going to just depend on which ones they pick with. They were seeing ETC, Greymane, Malfurion on the other side. You could still go with Joanna because that does give you your trait that can withstand all that, and then you can try to just outlast them with the Chromie.
Yep. Let's see. There's Garrosh.
Garrosh and Sylvanas. That was not expected.
Garrosh, I've actually seen as kind of an interesting counter to a solo frontline, because Garrosh can just separate out the tank. Doesn't grab and flip squishies anymore, but when the tank just naturally does his kind of, oh, let me get up and engage, Garrosh can flip them further away from the team, cause some panic. Now, ETC's one of the better guys who can defend that, because with ETC
Definitely.
you can just save power slide. You
and
can
the
face
W,
melt,
honestly.
yeah, face melt whenever Garrosh steps up.
Yep.
But Sylvanas is
to win more. They're saying we plan to win the beacon, and when we win it, we're going to punish you hard. It has its ups and downs.
Yeah. It does. I would expect the last pick to be a solo laner, I would think, then.
It has to be. They have no solo laner right now.
And then have Sylvanas kind of be like in that 1-1-3 I talked about, have Sylvanas potentially be the one that, when a lane's starting to win, well, Sylvanas goes there and make sure that you get cannon tower damage. But we'll see where that goes as Leeming Arthas.
Yeah, I think these are great picks. Arthas is actually a very good solo laner. And then also when they do end up being in a team fight, he'll provide another frontliner, like you said, with only Garrosh is good against the solo frontline, so they have their second. But Leeming is just going to provide so much poke against the other team and against Garrosh, which he's not good against mages.
But there's the Leoric, and that can actually be a pretty good counter to the Arthas in that solo lane, because Arthas needs to step up to the minions to get his maximum wave clear.
Yeah, but he actually just won. Arthas with his auto attack damage will actually go toe to toe with Leoric, even if he hits Drain Hope.
Well, but I mean, the difference is, Leoric, you can just Q and then W and then Wraith Walk to the range where you're outside of Arthas's E, so you still have full range of movement. All the while, like anytime I've been an Arthas into Leoric, I've hated it, and anytime I've been a Leoric into Arthas, I've loved it. Maybe that's just my own personal experience, but we'll find out which one of us is right here. Heading into Brax's holdout, gonna be an interesting match. It seems that Dank team has something that's much easier to execute. Certainly much more kind of vanilla.
Yeah, definitely. They're going for the easy blow up and resets with the Greymane and Leeming.
Yeah. But let's see where we go. As here we are. Brax, hold on. Drop Dead Gorgeous. We're going to have Gelda. Going to be on that Garrosh. Chaos going to be on Chromie. Vexing going to be on Sylvanas. Trent going to be playing the Leoric. And Unitas going to be playing that Leoric. Now, we should note that Pugs Not Drugs, the captain of Drop Dead Gorgeous, is having some technical issues. So he is being replaced by a sub tonight. Go ahead and introduce from the bottom, Dank team.
So we got Dank team, we got Asian Gamer on the ETC, Crystal Math on the Leeming, Mac Attack on the Malfurion, Ha 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 on the Greymane. Probably didn't say enough ha's there. And Hyperius on the Arthas.
Now, Greymane initially going top, so going to try to potentially burst down that Leoric early. Now, Leoric, yeah, he's got self-sustain, but he can be a squishy little bugger.
Yeah, and at least it makes him scared.
On the bottom. Yeah. But Greymane, not seeing the early opportunity to get a blow up. Gonna rotate down. I guess maybe he was just looking for the Sylvanas cheese. Ooh, but there's the flip onto Asian Gamer. Asian Gamer trying to run away. There's the Garrosh stun. Chases on. Nice huge root by Malfurion. Just saving lives. Ha ha ha. Jumping in, trying to get onto Vexing. Ha ha ha. Now running away, and that's gonna make team fight calls.
And I don't think if you notice that. So right with that throw, the Lucia boop actually interrupted ETC slide, and that's what made him take so much damage. You would expect, okay, throw, slide right away, but he's like, oh man, he got stuck.
And Unitas actually getting chased there by ha 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 while Asian Gamer gets thrown away. Unitas living on the edge but surviving. 4v4 in the bottom is just going to be so entertaining. It's going to be hard to keep an eye on the top. check in on it as best as we can. But
right now, the Leoric is bullying the Arthas pretty hard, but I think Arthas is not really using his abilities on Leoric, but taking a lot of tower damage.
Yeah, and meanwhile, though, trades slowly starting to fade. Ooh, as I say that, big root onto Gelda. Gelda going to take a bit of damage, but the trades overall starting to fall in favor of Drop Dead Gorgeous. There goes Haha, chasing down Vexing. Li Ming managing to get the kill in the reset, but Matic is so low. Matic going to drop here. There's a flip onto Crystal Math. Crystal Math might be able to turn around on Gelda, but there comes Lucio with the boop. Greymane diving away to escape the boop. No, there's so much fighting, no one's even gotten on the point yet. Asian Gamer going to have to back up. Point going to be capped here by Drop Dead Gorgeous, and they're going to start the channel.
Yep, I mean, Leoric was able to do a good amount of damage to the Arthas on the top lane again. I think what really they're going to have to do is they're going to have to either somehow control bottom, or they're going to have to take Mercs to scare the Leoric away. Yeah,
and actually Malfurion going to rotate top, just trying to give Leoric some mana, some health. Gonna get, ooh, but here comes Paid on the bot. Crystal Math in very, very deep, but here comes Drop Dead Gorgeous all over that Li Ming. Can't get resets if you've just been reset yourself, as Li Ming going to drop. Chromie has no mana, so she's doing most of her damage via auto attack. Ha ha ha. Says down, Mr. President. Takes that Sandblast so ETC can live.
And that's a full wave clear, and this is exactly the spot that they want to be in with Sylvanas. That's going to give them so much push potential with, I mean, mediocre clear between the Greymane and the Li Ming.
Yeah, it's gonna be there. Ooh, Garrosh flipping over Asian Gamer. How do you like your steak? Apparently free range because ETC got away. As the gate now down, is gonna start getting risky. Sylvanas gets the dagger onto Malfurion. Malfurion dutifully spreading it to the fort and the well. In come the Ultra List now. ETC very aggressive power slide. The root, that's gonna get Unitas, but there's Chromie, and there goes ETC and Greymane. And if you're in chat, drop the debated emote, because that's just what happened.
Yeah, that's not something you want to see with an ETC power sliding into the four of them, into the minion wave with all those siege minions in the back just pounding on you, plus the rest of the team, instead of just using it for peel.
And still, this wave continues to push, now starting to get some damage, and this is where Sylvanas on Praxis holdout can just be so dangerous. You have to weather the storm, but already down more than a level, and taking keep damage, and it's not like Arthas is strongly winning this top lane.
He's starting to come back now that the talents are kind of going his favor. Granted, he is a talent deer town, but did he go block? He did not go block.
Yep, he did not go block, instead choosing to go for that root talent. Playing more for the team fight potential that brings, but block would just be so good against Leoric.
Yeah, especially if you know you're going to be a solo lane. You have to play for that solo lane on Braxis, which is mainly what block is going to be doing.
And the recently nerfed fire bats heading into lane can't be ignored, though, because those things will melt the keep wall if they get up there. Fire bats taking top while Arthas still doing the soaking, trying to catch up. Still down those level 7 talent tiers. Bruisers picked up by both teams. Pretty standard macro play so far for Braxis. But with this lane pushed in, gonna help a quick clear on the side of Dank team.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much after the Zerg wave, what are you going to do? You can't do anything else because the objective's done and you're on a 2-lane map. So you're either looking for the gank or you're going back to your minions and mercs. I actually would have really liked to see the gank because they did have the talent tier up, but they're just going to put, again, Sylvanas, she's still good without the objective.
Ooh, but here comes a 5-man team fight. Hyperius looking, didn't get the route they wanted. Asian Gamer taking a lot of poke from the Chromie, has to power slide away defensively. Not the ideal situation. Now Arthur's just going to rotate down, clear the spot lane. But they're going to have to deal with this spell armor that comes out. And there's a temporal loop onto Asian Gamer, just taking so much damage. And now there's a flip onto Ha Ha Ha. Greymane, I don't see him getting out of this one. Big power slide might save it. No, Greymane does go down. Now Matic going to be the next to fall. Asian Gamer running away, but Crystal Math getting chased by a very eager Lucio.
Yeah, I'm curious. I would like to see if that Garrosh purposely did not throw ETC after that time loop, because he was right next to him. He could have very easily, you know where he's going to be, just throw him. I wonder if he purposely did not throw, so that way he could bait somebody else in, and actually ended up throwing the Greymane. I'd be curious to know if he did that on purpose.
Yeah. Drop Dead Gorgeous playing this map rather well, still pushing up with these bruisers top. Now they have their level 10s on top of Temporal Loop. What are we going to see? As we get the warning, we do see the Challenger's War Cry. Ooh, ETC getting flipped into the time trap. Now trying to get away. Oh, but Li Ming comes and deletes Lucio. But the turnaround kill, ETC and Malfurion go down. But now Vexing running away. Vexing barely dodging those Li Ming Qs. Now trying to throw his Gelda. Trying to secure some kind of turnaround. But now Gelda's in a bad position. Li Ming, how brave is she?
Yeah,
not,
she was trying.
Not brave. Not as brave as she needed to be, which was not brave. Needed to walk
trying to come
away
in for those flanks, and then Chrome was like, "I don't care about you, Liming. I'm just gonna delete your Malfurion and your ETC with one Dragon's Loop."
Yeah.
Or Dragon.
But both shrines currently controlled by Drop Dead Gorgeous, and they are looking for the engage. They do have level 10s. They still have Sound Barrier up. They still have Merchant Black King. But Garrosh gets actually isolated out and deleted before the Sound Beam can hit. Boss actually gets triggered, and the boss is going to kill Crummy before the Sound Barrier can land. It's still going to be a 100-0 Zerg Wave, but this is the chance Dank Team has to get back into this game, to find level 10s.
Yeah.
What a misplay there by Drop Dead.
Yeah. They still have Sylvanas, which is still going to be threatening, but they can't be as aggro because of the 5v4. Essentially, I mean, Garrosh is on his way back. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit of a misplay there by Drop Dead Gorgeous, letting the boss aggro, Chromie getting killed by it, Garrosh getting completely caught out and just deleted. Even with level 10s up, they just had nothing to save him. But now this keep is going to be in trouble. There's a big power slide trying to lock in Unitas. There's a root follow-up, doesn't collect anyone. Now Arthas caught out, gets the silence, has to back up. There's a big AoE taunt, gonna take two. ETC and Malf go down, and now Leoric getting thrown to the back line. Leoric does have, he has used Marginal Blacking, but he does manage to collect Arthas. Gonna be the next to fall. And this keep is going down.
They could almost end here. I mean, there's still 18 seconds on Greymane, 10 seconds on Arthas. I think they're looking to end.
They are moving on to the core. Li Ming can be a good defender here, but Gelda actually a little bit low. Temporal Loop onto Asian Gamer. Going to take some Chromie poke. But now I think this is the part where they need to look. Ooh, they might try to turn. Make sure they can get Crystal Math. No, Crystal Math going to be able to get away here. Now ETC's on the chase. Big Root hits Garrosh. Garrosh is in a lot of trouble. Greymane dives in. Gelda just sacrificing for the greater good.
He bought a lot of time there with his trait and his level 13 talent. Being a whole level talent tier above, that's where you show it.
Yeah.
And I like this. I actually would like to see them put a little bit more pressure on the map. Make use of the Sylvanas trait, make them constantly run around, while also, being aware of, the ganking possibilities. But Sylvanas with Windrunner at 13 is actually very mobile, using the double haunting wave.
Yeah, and no real core damage there.
No.
But they didn't really commit any resources. Like the both lanes are pushed in still. They will have their ultimates up before any fight can break out. They lost Garrosh, but they're still up 2 levels. So maybe worth it. Didn't get the result they wanted, but maybe if they picked off that Li Ming, they could have gotten some real core damage there before they had to
put
back
the threat on them at least.
Yeah. It's certainly keeping Dank Team honest. Dank Team right now just constantly addressing threat after threat after threat. And with this 13 advantage, Drop Dead Gorgeous, they can make some interesting things happen. Looks like they want to push up top with this science camp. As I call it, the science camp because the science vehicle. Go ahead.
Sylvanas does have Mercenary Queen, so those are actually going to be doing a lot of damage, but they're looking for a team fight.
Yeah, looking for a team fight. Don't want to go underneath those cannon towers in the mid, though.
And
trying to see if maybe they can pick someone out with that Garrosh flip. But both teams kind of poking out. Now Chromie up top. Here comes the Bruiser camp. And now Crystal Math is kind of in an awkward position if an engagement has to happen. Have them rotate around to defend their core 5v5. 13-12, but there's a big mosh. Hits 2. Sound barrier, though. Saving some members of blue. ETC going to get silenced by the wing. But Gelda is actually going to be the first to fall there. Now, here comes March with the Black King. Full heal onto Leoric. Hyperius and Asian Gamer get decimated. Going to be the next fall. But Vexing is actually quite a bit low. If an auto attack can get off. Now, Li Ming getting the reset. Trying to... Can she get on the Unitas? No, Li Ming is going to go down,
Oh,
but
he got
takes
it for the last
Lucio,
mirror.
but it is a 5-man wipe.
The last
I
magic missile,
don't
but
think
these two
they can
heroes
do
are not the
anything
best
with it.
sieging. Yeah, they really can't do much besides some poke. I mean, they'll help the Winions kind of do some core damage, but I mean, everybody's gonna be up quick enough, and they actually have a really poor escape if they can jump on this Chromie.
Yeah,
Okay, no, they
Leoric
got
going to be able
nothing.
to get away. Chromie. Well, what did Chromie take? She took timeout. Yeah, so she does.
Yeah.
She can't really escape. Yeah.
Once again, just basically kept them scared, kept them honest, as you said before,
Hmm.
saying, "Hey, we can do this." I mean, that was a pretty. It was looking one-sided real quick, and then all of a sudden, Limi was able to get those last few picks that really kind of saved the game for that one moment.
Now they could have snagged about 10% there if Garrosh had actually gone and sat on the beacon before Chromie quickly snuck the top one in. So 0%. Heck, no, 2. They got 2. So they got the smallest percent possible.
Hey, it's something. It's something.
It's something. You know, they'll get an extra Zergling.
Yeah, and this is where you're
It'll
kind
be
of going
7
back and forth.
Zerglings if they lose this phase. But this is a situation that Dank team can they've stemmed the Sylvanas tide. Sylvanas
Yeah.
starts to get weaker as the game goes on. They're on equal talent here. This is going to be the best chance they have to fight. Now, this Chromie is going to make engaging just horrible, not fun.
Yeah, even the garage.
But it's a
will, just
chance,
if you don't hit
yeah.
garage at the right timing, if you get out of position, the rest of your team can't help. But it's basically going to be a game of cat and mouse as everybody rotates back and forth to get the beacons, and both teams probably picking up their mercs as they can.
Now, they are going to see Hyperion coming in, once again, not being able to land that route. Does have the extended range on the Frost route, but doesn't have the trail doing the freeze yet. So, probably not going to get there anytime soon, given that he's only at 16. He'll need to land 4, and right now it doesn't look like you're going to get clean engage. But Leoric, right now, going to take some poke damage from Greymane. Nothing really serious, obviously, Leoric getting away. But here comes Sylvanas down into the bot lane. This is going to force a reaction. 5 people are going to have to respond to this pushing Sylvanas, and that could allow Leoric to grab the top channel. Leoric playing safe, waiting until he sees this enemy team, and then he'll rotate up to this point.
Drop Dead is playing the cat and mouse so well, knowing that hey, they have to rotate. They can't gank Leoric because he can just Wraith walk away. So then while they're up there,
cue
let's
the
use
Jaws
Sylvanas
theme
trait.
music real quick.
Uh-oh.
That Arthas is going nowhere.
Yeah, that's a perfect rotation, especially level 16 up. They had the advantage. They already knew where they were coming from, where Dank thing was coming from on the top lane. So
An Asian
using
gamer
that to
didn't
the power.
get the cap. Finally secures the cap, squeezed off the point just a bit early. Yeah, no, Drop Dead is just... They're playing the macro very well, and now they set their sights on Asian Gamer. Asian Gamer using the power slide, just making sure he gets away. But now, both beacons controlled, already at 48%, and the Bruiser camp being invaded. I love this play.
Yeah.
I love this play. You have to go and cap a point, but it looks like they want to face a Zerg wave again and instead want to try to take this fight. Now they have to go clear top. This is going to be a 100 Zerg wave in the bot lane. This is certainly keep going down. And with 16 not in sight for Dank team, this could be the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's actually interesting to see. So Sylvanas actually has the highest damage right now, but granted, it's a lot of spread damage between her Q and the W. But Chromie is the one that's really landing those hard-hitting hits that allow them to get all these kills.
Yep, as ETC gets thrown a little bit separated, power sliding back across, only is about half the health, turned back up, but now Hyperius gets on it, and Hyperius just gets absolutely annihilated. Now Asian Gamer going to be the next foe, not even needing the temporal loop to secure the kill, but it sure doesn't hurt. Now Matic getting chased by Gilda, and man, Garrosh is just walking into the kitchen. Hey guys, you want a snack? Tossed in a sandwich. Oh,
yeah,
man.
He's honestly going uncontested completely, just able to do whatever he wants to secure kills and peel for his team. I mean, that they just showed their power on that map. They knew what they wanted to do. It shows why they wanted to pick it.
Drop Dead gorgeous. I've had, let's call it the pleasure, very sarcastically, of playing this team. And they have such good ganks. They have such good rotation on the map. And they know what they want to do in team fights. And it's going to be a tall order for Dank team to come back and win game number 2. But they'll get the chance as we head to Battlefield of Eternity. We will be right back for that. As I look for the All right, and we are back here on the Nexus Gaming Series. Drop Dead Gorgeous, taking map number 1 and looking good doing it. Uh, gonna be a tall order for Dank team to come back. Um,
And they chose this map for another 2-lane, well, I mean, some people will say snowbally 2-laner map with Battlefield of Eternity. So it's their choice. Let's see, and they get first pick, so we'll have to see what they go into it with, what plan.
Now, I've had a chance to both play and cash Drop Dead Gorgeous before. They got pretty much exactly what they kind of always want to get in some respects on Brax's Holdout. They love to do that kind of Chromie style. It'll be interesting what they do here. Chromie can work in places on this map, so long as you pair it with something like a Greymane that can just, Chromie defends while Greymane burns.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll see teams take two strategies into Battlefield Eternity. You'll either go into the race but most times it's not really a full race teams anymore. The meta is really just you have one person that can do pretty good on clearing it, and the rest of you kind of invade and protect your own immortal. Or you have the strategy of where you're just protecting and then you're delaying. You're delaying as much as possible and trying to soak, and that's where you'll see a lot of Abathurs in this map, just because the 4-man is good enough.
Dahaka,
and Abathurs will double soak. So we'll see if the teams decide to get like the full rush, the full like Valas, the Greymanes, the Artanuses and stuff like that, or are they going to go more into the what we see in the pro meta with the heavy dive frontline or protecting frontline, and then getting like the Li Ming that can really poke and be safe while also doing damage.
Yeah, and we do see a Genji ban from DDG, so they might be actually heading that direction. And there's the Hanzo.
And Hanzo is actually ridiculously clear. Once he gets level 7, he clears the immortal so fast. It's actually really scary.
Yeah, so remind me again why he got his buffs.
I know. That's what everybody else is saying too.
But there's Lucio ETC, so wanting to grab that Lucio away this time. Very strong hero. Sticking with ETC though. Now ETC had trouble last game, dealing specifically with Garrosh and with poke from Chromie. Hanzo can poke pretty well too, so I think the Lucio can help with the sound barrier and with the speed boost actually reducing the time it takes for ETC to engage. But they need to, I think, have a second frontliner to kind of help deal with that, or better dive, one of the two.
Yeah, so especially since they already saw Hanzo, that can say, here's our racer and here's our good range poke. So what Dank team could have done here is pick their healer and pick their racer as well. Pick their Greymane, pick their Vala, something like that. Because then they can also, that means that saves their tank role later in the draft for somebody that could also dive. Like, let's say a Nubrak. Right. For me, I'd say a Nubrak would be a great pick here, but I don't want to see a Nubrak and ETC.
Yeah. Now, I do like this Stukov pick. I'm actually one of the few people who seems to like him a lot. Nice. But the silence is actually pretty good against ETC. And then you take the Greymane, so now you have two people who can win any immortal race. Do we potentially see just banning out something like Mythael or Vala, trying to reduce their options?
I don't think they should be too worried about the burn anymore. I think they're already, unless their last 3 picks are going to be Artanis, Vala, I don't know, and maybe not even Monk. I'm trying to think of whoever the other great racers are. Maybe they take Malthael. Unless they get the next 2 picks, so they might want the Malthael and try to go into the race. I think right now, they should give up the race. I think now they should be focusing on, let's stop them from racing. Let's stop them from killing anything. And that's probably a good. I think Diablo is probably a good ban here. He has a lot of places to slam people into.
And it seems that Dank team agrees. So banning out that Diablo, and it can be a pretty devastating combo indeed. So now what do we see banned out from Dank team? I think Li Ming can be handled by Stukov, just because she's kind of inconsistent burst damage. And Stukov generally is okay against that. But they're hovering it. Now, Li Ming does give immortal poke.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that but the thing is that Li Ming with immortal poke is really only good if you're already winning the immortal, because then you're forcing the other team to kind of defend, and then Li Ming can get poke. If you're trying to race and you're trying to defend the immortal, she's less than good, again, unless you're going into the kill. Like if they picked a Nubrak Leeming here, they can just dive Greymane Hanzo, get one of those kills, and then have their 5th pick to be their solo lane and be their racer. Like then a Artanis or Malthael still on the table.
Yeah, they could get so the Malthael could struggle a bit because when he dives, you could get the flailing swipe, so Tormented Souls gets basically value.
Right. That's true in a team fight sense, but hopefully you're not really using them at that point in the team fight sense.
Right.
You're using them as a racer. But yeah, you're true. I mean, Flailing Swipe can definitely mess up Tormented Soul completely.
Well, so he can poke in with the E pretty reliably. I don't know. I'm trying to think like what other divers can work here. I mean, dive is definitely the way you can beat Stukov Hanzo.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a Vala for just general burn.
So there's Artanis. So they're leaving their 5th to be kind of like their how do we deal with them? They want to see the last 2 picks before they really pick their they're going full race.
Yeah, they are. Goodness. Well, and Mathael now has 2 targets, although he's gonna have to go into a Lucio with Sound Barrier.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's gonna get much team fight value if the team fight is equal, but their race potential is so insane. Now, they have great race potential.
They're kind of squishy, honestly.
They're squishy, and Greymane is amazing siege damage. Hanzo is okay. He gets his bonus from minions and monsters, though, not from structures. Mathael is miserable at siege. I mean, he's one of the worst in the game when you get down to it.
But the good thing about that is that your objective does amazing siege damage, so
yeah.
you're kind of already filling that gap there.
This is so this is a very, very like here's how we're gonna play the map. Joanna is going to prevent you from fighting us, and we're just gonna burn it down as fast as we can.
Yeah.
So now the Artanis pick I think is actually pretty good for that because if Stukov tries to drop a silence, it's a stationary target to hit E, and if you swap Stukov, he is dead. I mean, he is dead as shit.
Yeah, they have really good swap targets. Greymane's a pretty good swap if you get him outside of wolf form. Hanzo, I mean, Hanzo has his stupid agility. I wonder if they might go Cassia. There's a lot of auto attack on the other team. But I feel like if they do go Cassia, they're also opening themselves up to not as much of a poke ability. Like Vala Cassia has to get pretty close to do any type of damage, and Hanzo and Malthael can actually have their way. I still like a new Brack, honestly.
Gonna be
they go Jaina. They're going for a blow up.
Yeah, so I guess trying to just end fights quickly.
Yeah, they want to get one person at least, and then try to just kill them, and then win the race that way. But I feel like they're gonna take a lot. For them to do this, they're gonna be taking a lot of damage unless they get a God swap. If they get a God swap, they'll win the game. If they're not getting the God swap, then having ETC go in to set up the Jaina, to set up the Vala, they're going to be taking a lot of damage in the meantime, especially against a Joanna that's going to just sit there and condemn them.
I know one thing. This is going to be a really interesting Clash of Styles game. I love these types of games.
Yeah.
You know, it's not 2 teams like just trying to see who can draft more race. It's one team like we're going to draft all the race, and the other team's like we're going to draft all the blow up. And one of these things is going to break. And it's going to break very, very hard.
Yeah, this will definitely go one side or the other.
Look, one thing I should note, and I think is worth noting, is with Mathael Greymane, there is I think, much better camp clear on the side of DGG, which could allow them to get some advantage in the siege race. Might even open up potential to try to sneak a bruiser camp aggressively.
That's a very good point. I mean, Greymane already takes camps fast enough. Matthew just adds to that. And Hanzo. I mean, honestly, Hanzo hits 4. He's going to take the camp just as fast. I mean, 4 and 7. He's going to take the camp just as fast as Greymane, if not faster, actually.
Yeah. But with that, let's go ahead and introduce our teams. We got Chaos on Hanzo, Trent going to be on Greymane, Gelda going to be on Joanna, Unitas going to be playing the support on Stukov, and Vexing going to be on the Mathael. Go ahead and introduce from the bottom.
And on Dank team, we got Mac Attack on the Lucia, Crystal Math on the Jaina this time, Hyperius on the Vala, Ha 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 is actually on the ETC, as he was DPS last time, and Asian Gamer on the Artanis solo lane.
And there comes ETC.
Yeah, so they switched up their roles a little bit. Greymane, Ha 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 was the Greymane last game. They're looking for this gank.
Yeah, and it's interesting because they did have an ETC last game. It didn't work. Ooh, they got a good blow onto Trent, but a really good lurking arm from
Yeah,
Stukov
not everybody.
saves.
They didn't see everybody commit to that, which is a little unfortunate. I feel like they probably actually could have gotten that kill.
Yeah. Well disengaged though, as now Stukov gonna just use that passive healing. Stukov has such good sustained healing, and especially once we hit level 4 when he gets one good spread. But wave clear. Go ahead.
Sorry, the good thing about Artanis is that he does give that shielding, is in a way sustained healing. So hopefully he doesn't get too low, far below 50. But overall, Malthael should be able to beat out Artanis.
Malthael actually getting some very positive trades, and that could get exacerbated at level 4 with Die Alone very badly.
That's very true, yeah. If he's looking for just to get those kills. Although
he might go... Ooh, there's a big power slide. If he had Mosh Pit, it would be a hack, because it's way too early in the game. But that would have been a great Mosh.
It's always things to look for those things, look for those in the future.
Yeah. Trying to prevent ETC juking just everything. Juke to Cocktail, juke to Hanzo Arrow, juke to Scatter Shot. Pretty good moves there. Nice moves by Ha Ha Ha.
Yeah, we're really gonna see them. We really need to see them commit to these ganks a lot more. I mean, ETC is going in a little too far outside of the range of his assassins, and so they're just not able to get those ganks that they're trying. Not really getting any pressure, honestly, which is a little unfortunate.
Yeah, and power sliding, trying to get these max range things, and people can just back up. Meanwhile, though, Artana's holding his own in the top lane, actually. He hasn't taken any structural damage, and that's, I think that's a compliment to just the play we're seeing up in that top lane by Artanis. Ha ha ha, though. I think it's something of a negative trade. Getting the Amped up there from Lucio just to start healing him back up. Because actually, we haven't pulled up our quests yet. You have the expanding lurking arm. Ooh, Gelda in a bit of trouble. I believe Iron Skin is down. Gelda is going to drop, in fact. And that's the first kill going over to Dank team. And that's just what the doctor ordered after last game.
Yeah. And that's good for the very beginning of the Immortal. We have 4 seconds, so it's going to give a little bit of time for Joanna to come back. And actually, we're going to see Dank meme to take the Merc camps as fast as they can, which is, I mean, they didn't time it quite right, so they're going to lose a lot of Immortal damage during this. But luckily, they can just rotate to the top, which gives them some time.
Well, and it's because defending top, that actually, because 4 people had to rotate up from bottom, that does buy them a bit more time and help them out. But this is still going to be nearly a 50 to 90.
Yeah, about 80. Yeah, but we saw that damage. I mean, there's no way they're ever going to race. I'm actually very surprised that Artanis even ran to the bottom instead of just trying to poke.
Yeah. And Artanis actually missing the swap there. Now, we are seeing Hanzo focus that scatter shot on this map, and the burn is coming in, and there's just... This Immortal is dropping so fast. Blizzard trying to zone out the point. Gelda actually taking a lot of damage. There's a swap. Gelda actually got swapped out of the stun there using Condemn, but Joanna's going to go down. Now Vexing in a bit of trouble. Blue team just trying to finish off this Immortal, but Vexing and Trent are so low. Vala on the chase. Not going to be able to... Oh, Chief does get the kill on Mathael. Great secure. And now Unitas getting slowed by that Blizzard. That might... Ooh, there's the stun! And Stukov goes down. Artanis starting to burn now. They need time to let ETC heal up. The death timers are short. Hanzo can poke in. Greymane can poke in a bit. Hanzo using that vision arrow very well. Ooh, trying to get onto Hyperion, but there's a big power slide on the Blizzard. Not going to be able to secure the kill. Joanna coming in with the Condemn. Health bars are very low.
They're not winning
Artanis,
this, but they're going to at least gain a lot of health on the Immortal.
Yeah, and I think at this point, Team Dank needs to, or Dank team, excuse me, needs to walk away, and that's what they're going to do. Still, took a situation where they were losing badly, got it down to a third, and by the way, top wall's gone.
Yep.
That Bruiser camp paid off excellently. Very well played by Dank team. You know, they lost the first Immortal, but that's just a factor of short death timers and Immort burn. But if they keep playing like that, they'll win the second Immortal, they'll win the third, and there won't even need to be a fourth.
And really, honestly, they only lost that Immortal because they had so much time, or because there was already so much health down. If they didn't spend as much time on the that Merc camp, or at least was able to time it a little bit better. Imagine if they were at the first half and they did that same team
actually
fight.
Looking for a flank here. Now this Immortal they've done a lot of damage to the wall, and ETC is way behind the team. Worried that he's letting the perfect be the enemy of the good here. and he gets sniffed out. So ultimately, all of that
I mean, he didn't lose
trickery.
anything, so it's really good position for him because he wasn't going to help on the Immortal anyways.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he don't a bit. His auto attack isn't terrible, but
auto attacking puts him in range for Greymane and for Hanzo and just taking damage.
Yeah, that's true. Artanis actually gets killed to poison damage on his own side of the wall, so Vexing getting a big win for DDG, but the chase is on. Now Gelda, once again, the focus. Greymane, meanwhile, grabbing that top siege camp, so 1-for-1 trade, but that trade definitely benefits DDG, as now they have a soaker in the bot lane. Artanis not doing any of that soaking.
Yeah. Luckily, Malthael does not do very good siege, as we mentioned earlier on, so they didn't lose too much value, just one tower, so basically has even experience.
Yep. Now, taking a look at it, ETC did actually go... Malthael trying to start this camp, but Asian Gamer comes down, sniffs it out. Now, it's interesting, ETC went Pinball Wizard, so trying to maybe just, get that first target. There's a lot of squish, and so if you can get that big power slide onto a squishier target, you can chunk him down quite a bit, let Vala and Jaina do the finishing touch. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Is actually now coming down for a gank onto Vexing, and Vexing uses the Wraith Strike at the worst time, and that is going to be Malthael going down. That is a huge win in favor of Dank team. Although Bruiser are going to be picked up in this bot lane.
And that's a perfect timing for them as well, because that gives still enough time for them to rotate to where we know the Immortals are spawning, and so it's going to help them be able to push that bottom lane. But it gets kind of countered with the bottom Merc, so it works out half and half. And looks like neither team's going to rotate to it.
And with this Immortal positioning definitely favors Dank team. They are playing that more defensive win the team fight style. They're actually a little bit closer to 10 as well. Although they're starting to rotate, they want to get some chunk damage in here onto this Immortal. Malthael trying to find 10 up top. No one's soaking level 10s for the moment on the side of Dank team. They're going to try to just race this Immortal down to the halfway point before level 10s can be picked up. And it looks like they're going to actually be able to do that. So that's an aggressive play. We'll see if it pays off for them here in a second as, just theme music again.
Oh,
that was a Tormented Souls.
But yeah.
Tormented Souls, I don't think it almost saved him.
That was the wrong choice of words, yeah. But they're trying to.
Trying to stall time and heal himself, but his self-sustain is limited even when you hit a 5-man Tormented Souls. ETC going to go up in zone, still...
Look how quick they take that down. Holy cow. It's still at 50%.
They got halfway with 4 people. Yeah.
So quick. But this does give them an Immortal now. And this we'll have to see. Now their turn to push. Their turn to try to get that wall and fort down and see if they get any kills with it. We still haven't seen any swaps from Artanis, so we have to look out for that. And although he's going to the top lane, get that soak to make sure that they don't lose the fort for free.
And we are seeing Mosh Pit, Ring of Frost, Suppression Pulse, Sound Barrier, and Rain of Vengeance. I'm kind of surprised to see Mosh. Into a Stukov, Stage Dive can actually be very, very effective. And there's about 1 billion interrupts on the side of Drop Dead Gorgeous. But we'll see. I mean, all it takes is one good Mosh.
Yeah, and honestly, the threat of it can also be just as bad.
The threat of it is definitely there. There comes ETC, gets the Mosh, but the Condemn was already being cast. Sound Barrier barely going to save ETC. Actually, he's still going to drop nonetheless there. And Hyperius had to keep backing up early. 5-man defense, though. Artanis burning down the top. Hanzo on the chase, trying to get some trade. Yeah,
I said that was a threat, but I think that probably wasn't the right time to do the threat. He wanted to bait out the rest of the ultimates a little bit more, or the rest of the interrupts a little bit more. And Artanis staying a little too long. He's definitely going to get engaged upon. And with Artanis has, nice jump, but he has no real escape, so he's gone for sure.
And the ganker has become the ganked. As Artanis goes down, this should cost top fort. So a fort for a fort, but actually, Dank team structurally is going to come out ahead of this trade so long as they don't lose anything top wall.
Yeah, top keep, yeah.
Yeah, the walls are absolutely critical because you need to buy time to burn down those late game Immortals.
We have Jaina actually down here taking the Merc camp. Neither team level 13 yet. Still very even on talent. Still very pretty much very even on structures. Not too much different other than about 3/4 of a health of a top fort.
Well, there's still a cannon up on bottom as well. It's not much, but it can make a difference when we're talking about minion waves, but also the Immortal just chunking down that shield a bit. We'll have to see. It looks like, though, DDG thinking of pushing in, trying to get some damage. No, they're
we're
gonna
gonna take
rotate
these
up.
mercs.
No, they are. Okay, they're not gonna rotate up. They are gonna stay down here. They're gonna try to actually get this fort.
No, just wanted to scare them off a little bit. I guess they're
Yeah.
hoping to play a little bit of mind games to try to get them to rotate off those merc cannons. So both teams have mercs available, so they're just going to trade, and then it's going to come down to who do they send to kill the opposite merc camp, because you're definitely going to want to.
An Immortal position, I do think favors Dank team quite a bit here because they'll be able to address the Bruiser in the bottom. DDG just going straight into burn. Dank team was on it first.
See who wins, yeah.
But we know how much burn DDG has.
Exactly,
My goodness.
Off
DDG's
by 400.
DDG is actually winning that race.
Yeah,
My
especially
goodness.
when they got there late.
And here comes the fight. We do have every ultimate up. Gelda getting separated out a bit, has the Iron Skin. Mathael getting some poking. Cocktail quest is done, so that's going to start the chunk. Artanis looking for swap. Barely misses Chaos. My goodness. Now, Joanna, once again, going to be the focus. I don't think Iron Skin is up.
That's
a huge 4-man Dragon Arrow with the silence. And now here comes Tormented Souls. Sound Barrier going to be blown with the mosh, but... and actually... it's going to be enough.
That sound barrier was so godlike. It saved Artanis on the verge of death, and he was able to get his own shielding up.
And a perfect engagement. Just completely destroyed by Mac Attack with the sound barrier. My goodness.
That was probably MVP play right there, honestly. That was sound barrier was so clutch for them to win that fight. Otherwise, Malthael would have Artanis would have gone down, and that fight would have gone the different direction.
Well, it was the Ring of Frost hit. Everyone was stunned. Everyone was silenced. Tormented Souls comes in, and they managed to pull through with that sound barrier and turn around so hard.
And the other thing to note is that the Dank team's mercs was able to take the top fort for free while also still saving their bottom fort. So they actually came out a lot farther ahead in that.
I misspoke there a bit. I said Ring of Frost and I meant Blessed Shield because I was about to say, and the Ring of Frost turned the fight around.
Yeah, see, we saw in that fight, ETC held Mosh Pit a lot longer, and a lot of ults were used and that allowed him to get a good mosh. So that sometimes that threat, it really just throws off the team fight of just, I have this here, you got to save something for me.
Yeah, and I think that's a good adjustment by Dank Team. Not using the Mosh as an engagement tool is going to be pretty critical. Here comes the Suppression Pulse now. Only going to collect Mathael and Joanna. Mathael, good target to hit. Joanna, not as much. But this Immortal at half health, and oh my goodness, this keep is just melting with the Artanis amateur opponent. And there comes the Ring of Frost, collects the root onto Hanzo. Is Hanzo going to drop? Oh, great sound barrier, countered by the flailing swipe, but Hanzo does indeed go down. This Immortal onto the core.
I don't want them to stay on this.
I do not want them to stay on this core. They are not going to be able to do it. Trying to get down Gelda, but I think the best move for Dank Team is to leave. You have Katas in bot lane, and
a tier level above. Yep. We want to see them being aggressive now. Obviously, they're rotating. I actually would have preferred them to rotate aggressively to the top mercs because they know that's where they're going to go. But they're going to play it safe, which is always fair. That puts pressure on the bottom lane, which means they can probably still rotate up to the top and take the top mercs, and then basically just try to control the lanes now as much as possible with their tier advantage.
And Lucio taking his team up to the top.
Malthael can't decide if he wants to take mercs or not. He did a little dance there for about 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's a risky move, because as soon as you see bottom, you know they're bottom, but you also know that they have a Lucio, and they're probably going top anyway, because it's really the only open thing on the map to take.
Yeah, and right now, to get back at here, Drop Dead needs to take this bottom fort. They just saw everybody rotate top, but I think they took a little too long, so they're going to rotate bottom quick enough.
And Greymane actually stepping up. Greymane's stepping up here, but not everyone else, and it seems like
that was a free fort, yeah.
Bit of split decision-making, or maybe they were worried about the invasion onto their bruisers. Mathael now gonna see all the members of Dank Team
Ooh, they see Greymane
in
on the
here
bottom lane.
invading. Greymane in the bottom lane.
They're not gonna go for him. They'll let him hearth.
The fort should die.
No. Yeah, the minions
Nope.
go against the other minions.
Minions got there just in time.
Yep. I think that was a free fort, which would have given them 16 easy.
Yeah, and they're not going to pick up 16 from the Merc camps. They might pick it up from top here, from Hanzo.
There's so much time available since Hanzo's clearing Mercs on top. I mean, they have full control of the map right now, which is a perfect for their position. They don't have to worry about the race. They can do whatever they want essentially. Even after this swap, they probably can't take the Mercs because they want to make sure they keep control. But talent tiers are even now, and we'll have to see the next team fight.
Yeah, and free 50% spotted there to Dank team, and now the shoe's kind of on the other foot, where Dank team was the one who wanted to engage before. Now it's actually going to be Drop Dead Gorgeous forced to take a fight. Now the Bruisers are being invaded here. This is actually a pretty good position for Defender Souls. There's the power slide, going to get interrupted by the Condemn. Suppression Pulse, though, going to scare off Greymane. There's the Blessed Shield. Joanna just trying to secure her own escape. Now Tormented Souls is up. Gilda a little bit low, dropping the Condemn, trying to get away, though. There's the big power slide from ETC, separating out Vexing. Vexing going to get the cleanse. There goes the chase. Jaina all over Vexing, but Vexing going to barely survive for the time being. Health bar is still low. Stukov trying to get everyone healthy, trying to spread all of these heals. ETC coming in for the power slide. Does have the Mosh, chooses not to use it. Now this is a good position for a Ring of Frost so they can get it. The poke coming in onto this Immortal. Retreat pings being called. Oh my goodness.
Hanzo went all over the place.
That scatter did a lot of damage. And now immediately I'm like, oh, now this is an advantageous advantage.
Ooh, but Malthael's hurting because there's minions, there's minions on the core, and now it's a 4v5.
There are Katas on the core, yep, and there's a swap onto Unitas. There's the Suppress Bros. There's the Mosh! Rain of Vengeance! Ooh, so much damage from Hanzo, but it's not going to be enough. Lucio getting the Sound Bearer off once again just to make sure there was no turnaround potential with that Joanna.
What an engage timing. I mean, they didn't even see Malthael in the bot lane yet when they did that engage. They literally engaged as soon as the hearth finished, and they didn't know that. And so it was just perfect timing for them, especially getting that the mosh pit. And once again, they used a lot of ults early, so mosh pit had free reign to do whatever it needed.
Yeah, and I mean, I think they did see the Katas on core and knew that had to be responded to. And so at that point, you aggress just so they can't back.
Just to delay them.
Yeah, and really just fantastic macro decision play.
And they still got 20% on the core, too. And they have 100% Immortal.
100% Immortal, 20% on core. This is going to take a monumental defense from Drop Dead Gorgeous if they're going to survive in this Immortal. Gilda in the backline, gets the Bless Shield out, no real follow-up. Suppression Pulse hits for Vexing, too low to really engage. Vexing does have Tormented Souls. Flailing Swipe is up. Here comes the Ring of Frost. Doesn't really collect anyone. Trent diving onto the backline, finds Jaina. Trent trying to get more trades onto Vala. Vala does manage to beat Greymane. Vexing all over this backline, but Artanis and ETC are on the core, and no one's going to stop them. Dank team tying the series up 1-1. What a game, my goodness.
So basically what we saw is those two ideals, the race versus the defense. I mean, the race versus the dive. I mean, and this time dive won out.
Wow. What a game.
I'm still calling MVP to that sound barrier.
Yeah,
with Artanis almost dead. That was so clutch.
Mac Attack did absolutely great. We're going to take a brief break. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to see if I can get one member from DDG and one member from Dank Team and have kind of a co-op interview there. Because that series was just, especially that second game was so good that I would like to talk to both of them and get their thoughts. So give us a second to try to arrange that, and we will be right back. All right, and we're here with the winner of Game 2, the captain of Dank team, Asian Gamer. Asian Gamer, how you feeling after that?
Uh, it was actually, I think we came out with more than I thought we were going to come out with, so it's okay.
Yeah,
We were actually missing our keystone player, so I wasn't expecting to win anything, but
Really?
oh,
yeah.
you were playing with us. So I Drop Dead Gorgeous was actually playing with a sub as well. Pugs Not Drugs, their captain, had apparently a laptop failure. But I mean, I guess that evens out in that respect.
Mhm.
So with
So
that,
go
go ahead, Snipe.
so going into the first game, you saw Drop Dead immediately pick the Chromie right away. So what were your immediate thoughts of how to kind of deal? What were your thinkings of trying to deal with that Chromie? Because you can obviously could tell that she's just a terror on that map in that 4-man, making it really hard to control.
I forget. Was their first pick a single or a set of two?
On
They
which
had
map?
Praxis.
There was a set of two.
Yeah, because it was their map choice, so they had a set of two.
And it was Sylvanas Chromie, right?
Well, they picked Sylvanas
Chromie
late in the game.
Lucio, I think.
Yeah.
Lucio.
I think you guys first picked ETC.
Yeah. So we didn't really have much thought on how to go about countering a Chromie. It's just
Don't get hit.
yeah. You could drive a whole bunch of dive, but I think we just wanted priority on the ETC.
Yeah.
I mean, strong pick, but you had difficulties with both the Chromie as well as the Garage. Had a couple big flips there. Had some trouble, obviously, dealing with the macro as well. Just because of the Zerg waves. And I can tell you this: I've played Drop Dead Gorgeous on that map before. They beat they beat the shit out of my team. Then, they have really good crisp rotations. It's one that they're just extremely comfortable.
Okay.
But then you guys took it to Battlefield of Eternity. Were you at all worried that because that's also kind of a 2-lane, snowbally map, were you worried that Game 2 might end up being a repeat of Game 1, or were you just, we knew what we wanted to do that map,
Well, that also happens to be probably our favorite map, so not too concerned. And it's not exactly similar just because it's 2 lanes. You got a boss on Praxis, and you got camps actually in if you comparatively, it's in kind of weird places where you're open to being rotated on. DOE is a bit bigger, and so it's easier to dictate what you're doing. It's not as messy. It's not as messy for us. We're actually a team that doesn't do well with macro, so
you want to go a lot of the team fights.
Yeah.
We definitely showed that in the second game with draft. So we were just, Snag and I just loved the draft for game number 2 from both teams. Both teams really committed to a style, and you guys lost the first Immortal, which we just weren't surprised by. Death timers are so short; they had so much burn, but you guys managed later Immortals just extremely well. And you got a lot of value on that first Immortal in terms of working off shield. Is that generally your style on that map? Be willing to give up some early game just to be able to be strong and team fighty in the later game, or did it just kind of work out that way?
Obviously, it's not a good idea to give up early, but I think we just we tend to do well calling defense, offense. We have a nose for it.
Yeah, especially with that draft. I said in the very beginning, if you rewatch it when we're talking about the draft, that there's 2 styles of thinking on that map. You either play defense with one guy that can race, or you play defense and you soak and you kind of get the level lead. And obviously, we saw Drop Dead really go for the full race, and you guys go for the defense, which showed that you really like to do your micro, your team fighting a lot more.
No. So I do want to go to one particular team fight, and this was. Well, it was on. Was it the first Immortal post 10, or was it the second Snag?
It was the second one.
Yeah. So where you had a pretty good swap to start the engage, but then it got countered by a Stukov silence into a 4-man Dragon's Arrow. And
good mosh pit. I think Dragon's Arrow came in, Blessed Shield came in. You guys were like on the verge of dying.
And then the little Lucio that comes in and has one of the most critical sound barriers I've ever seen. Tormented Souls comes in, Blessed Shield, like you're facing all of that. Sound barrier comes in, you immediately turn that fight around and win hard. Like win 3 kills to 0. Kind of what was, I guess we're heaping on praise on Lucio first, but second, what were comms like at that point?
For our team, during team fights, nothing much goes on during comms. You're just shouting out target names. But yeah, our healer has like a really good nose for like holding ults. The other example here would be like when he plays Mouth and just like dreams at like the perfect moment.
So you guys, even doing all that, you guys are keeping your cool during all the team fights, not like nobody's yelling and saying, "Oh, I'm so close, get her." It's just
nothing like
everybody
that.
Everybody follow the target, everybody listen. That's composure.
Nope. All right. Well, with that, 1-1 draw. Both teams get a point. Real quick, Asian, do you have any shout outs? And I should note his name is Asian Gamer, and I'm not. I don't mean it that way. Please don't sue me. Do you have any shout outs?
Shout outs to my boy, who I describe as our team's keystone player who missed the games. Yeah, thanks.
Obviously, you don't need them. You guys won one of them.
Yeah, could have won both. Could have won both.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. All right, and with that, Snag, thanks for casting with me tonight. Do you have any shout-outs or want to tell people where to find you?
No, I mean, I had no other shout-outs, I guess, than the other crew that I used to play with a lot. I'm trying to stream a lot more now. Obviously, I did casting for Cherry League for a while. You can find me over at twitch.tv/Snaginanez5. It's shenanigans backwards with a 5 at the end. So that's an easier way to remember it. So I'm trying to. I'll usually stream random games, but now joining NGS, I'm going to try to pick up a lot more games here and there. So hopefully to look out for me.
All right, and I'm DB Smiley. You can find me, obviously, if you're watching this on Twitch right now. You know where to find me, twitch.tv/DB Smiley. Also, you can follow me at twitter.com/deathbysmiley, where I like to post about HGC. I do a couple statistical model stuff. HGC kicking off this Friday. This Friday. So I can't wait for that. Actually a pretty big game in NA that night. Gale Force versus Old Gods, I think, is actually a pretty intriguing matchup.
A new Gale Force too.
Well, new Gale Force, new Old Gods.
Yeah, also true. Yeah.
King Calf and K1 Pro were on Gale Force. They're on Old Gods now.
Yeah.
Also,
like a swap. 3
members of Lag Force are in that game.
Yeah.
Zuna, Big Impact, Beakit.
Yeah, it's gonna be all over the place.
It's gonna be a very interesting game. But you can follow me there. Additionally, if you want to join Nexus Gaming Series, nexusgamingseries.com. There you can find the link to our Discord. Get involved there. And get ready. We're just starting Season 3, but it's going to just be 5 short weeks, and we've literally just finished Week 1. This is the last game of Week 1 of the Nexus Gaming Series. So I started it off, and I got to close it. That's because I'm a bully in Discord, and I say I'm casting this game. So that's how that works. Dedicated. All right. With that, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time on the Nexus Gaming Series. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, guys.